It's like a rave in here.
I love it.
It's like a raven rave. For people joining us on time, welcome. For me, hello everyone. This is a couple minutes behind. I had to finish making my coffee. It's very
At this
important.
point, you're just fashionably late.
I am fashionable in my dad's sweatshirt today.
Yes.
That's what my wife calls it. It's just my Everlast black sweatshirt. It's plain, it's simple, and it's old, which I like. I think
I
when you
need
get
a
to a
note
certain
next time
age,
because I also have an old black sweatshirt.
well,
So
we can't match. That wouldn't work out. We're not allowed to match. You look nice. You got like flower designs or something on your.
it's tie dye.
Oh, it's tie dye. Very nice. What's up, everybody? Come on in, say hello. Where are you from? How's the weather? Those are the things we like to say. Barbara says, hi, Scotty and Lauren. Hello. Holly says, hello. What's up? Silvery K is in the house, of course. Eileen Nolan is here. What's up, everybody? You should come in,
Me and my shadow.
share, and me and my shadow. Oh, we were talking about shadows a little bit this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got people from all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Welcome in, everybody. So, who in the audience was with us over the weekend and watched maybe some or all of the Spirit Quest? Let me know down here. Hi, Lauren and Scott from Hillsboro, Ohio. What's up? We were just in your town. Spirit Sponge, aka Kristen, is here. What's up, my friend? Long time no see. Maria Jewett is here. Charming is here. Deborah Jean. Oh, we have a nice little turnout today. Nice.
I
Hi, Just
know.
Dora.
Just Dora in Kentucky. Star Orchid was with us. Holly
Store
was
Orchid
with
was with us.
us.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Holly. Nice to see you there. Brave Ohio Spook Seekers. All right. Be brave. We were brave this weekend, I think. We went into a couple very interesting places. A cemetery, a haunted firehouse, and an ancient cemetery over 200 years old. And what was the other place? Oh,
Yeah.
an armory, an arsenal turned into a art installation, which is
Mm-hmm.
really fun. Say hi to my wife. I will, Patricia. Thank you. Protect her. Oh my God, were you just in my house? It's been a day here. What's up, everybody? Nice to see you. They're Beyond the Badge Paranormal's in the house. What's up?
Rhonda from Down Under. Sorry, Rhonda. I had to.
You're allowed to. They give us permission for some reason to do their accents thing. Great,
All
thank you.
right. I don't know if I could say that that was even a good accent, really.
It wasn't, but we know what you were going for.
Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I wasn't. Okay. Kangaroos.
Hi, Colleen Shannon. Nice to see you there. Danielle Baca is here. What's up? Britta Tricky is here. What's up? So, as you guys come in, welcome. I'm Scott, and this is Lauren, aka Lauren Haunts, and we spent all weekend together looking for ghosts in Columbus, Ohio. And now, Lauren, did we find any ghosts? Did we?
The jury's out, but we found
Sure.
some very non-regular things.
Irregular
Yeah,
patterns and
pretty
some sort of
much.
things. Yeah,
And it had such a beautiful crescendo. It was like
it
all
did.
leading up to those last moments of just absolute chaos. I felt like we left on a cliffhanger. Like we could have stayed for like 2 more days.
So that's exactly how these things always go. You always get to like that very last point, and it could be the point that keeps you in a location, right?
Yeah.
Like now I know for sure we want to go back to that Arsenal, aka art gallery
Oh my gosh,
installation place,
yes.
because there seemed to be something happening there, including I got punched in the stomach by a spirit, and I've rewatched that like a lot of times, and it was such a strange thing that I say punched. I don't know what happened, but I can tell you that I was feeling really well. I was having a good time. I was talking about the things in the atmosphere or whatever's going on around us, and all of a sudden it felt like I just took one to the ribs, and it made me audibly gasp. And Lauren
Well, and that
decided that she wanted to remix it as a song, so stay tuned for that.
well, and that was Oh my god, it's gonna be
Robert
so
Heskey's in the house.
good.
What's up, dude?
I took some video of him giggling too, so it's gonna be a mixture between and it's gonna be so good. So good.
I think it was a little manic this weekend. Yeah, it was a little fun.
So and amazing. By manic you mean amazing. So the interesting thing is too is like so this weekend was the first time Scotty and I got to like meet each other in person, which I feel like nobody would have known that if we didn't
No.
tell them that. They would have been like, "Oh, these guys like childhood friends," which is great. But I also spent like 24 hours a day with you. So when that
Sorry.
happened, you're so not dramatic in any way, shape, or form. So like that, like the noise that happened, like it scared me because I was like, do we need to get an ambulance? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Thank you for saying
So
I'm not dramatic. I don't think that I am. I am
you're really
emotional,
not.
but I'm not dramatic.
No, you're not. You're goofy.
I am.
Which is why that was surprising because you're not like it'd be different if it was like, always going after that drama, but you're just super silly. So like that caught me off guard big time. So that's why I was just like, huh. Um, but and the fact that you were feeling a little nauseous beforehand, and I was like, go over there, see if it's
All
still
right.
there,
Yeah.
and mixed with just all the stuff going off. I don't know. It was very um interesting to say the least. I can't really say that it
I
was
think so.
cool because I don't like want
I think it's cool.
you to not feel good to be cool.
Spider Queen's in the house. Yeah, I am cool. Hi, Spider Queen. I see you there.
So cool.
Um, so yeah. And you had two of your three pieces of equipment go off in the arsenal, which was really awesome. So
In
if you
the
guys haven't
arsenal,
watched any of this, make sure to watch it.
but over the weekend, all three
Hmm.
pieces went off, which that was a big weekend for me. Cause
That is.
if anybody's familiar or like uses my equipment, and I'm talking, it's not just like I build my equipment. I have people that are constantly out in the field using my equipment. And one of the biggest things that appeal to, of course, yes, they're pretty, but one of the biggest things that appeals to like, yeah, like more serious sort of investigators is the fact that my equipment like never goes off.
Right.
So we had all 3 pieces hit in some way, shape, or form this weekend, which was really,
Yeah.
really cool and so exciting. And it's like watching like your babies walk. I don't have
Sure.
children.
But then after they walk, they run. And then after they run, they
Yeah,
don't come
mine's
back.
like they walk and then they stop walking for 6 months.
So Holly
So it's
says, my
exciting.
crystal pod has only gone off once.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Holly has one of the original crystal pods too.
Mm. That's what I have a nice motion. What are we supposed proximity sensor? I have a nice proximity sensor that
Proximity
somebody gave
sensor,
me.
yeah. Thank
And
you,
it
husband.
doesn't go off often, and it's one of the reasons I like it because it really takes a lot. And if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, we're just talking about the same thing that is a REM pod, but not the same brand. So it's the same idea, but you know the REM pod brand seems to be very easily triggered when you get near it or false positives. And if you can find something like Lauren's equipment or the thing that I have that doesn't go off often, and then you bring it someplace and it's like constantly going off, check the batteries and see what else is going on because you might
Mhm.
actually have some real paranormal interaction happen.
Always know how to test your devices and know how they work because then you
Mm,
can know what might be setting them off. And you'd be surprised, a lot of things that we think we know how they work, we don't. So there's just two stop it. I always have a two-way radio on me. I always have a magnet and I always have like my cell phone. So
mhm.
there's various ways, and this is for trigger equipment.
Right.
Obviously, you can't really test like word bank equipment or anything like that. Although there are some word bank devices that use EMF to be triggered. So it's
Right.
a I'm eventually
It's a
I'll
whole
have a big
mess.
old episode on it.
We'll talk about it. So one of the more interesting things I saw that was not paranormal to Lauren, but was very supernatural to me was I was watching her teach herself some form of advanced mathematics. And there were a lot of things that made my brain fry just looking at it. And I was happy that I'm not a college student. And I'm certainly happy that I'm not going to be an astronomer physicist. And
Astrophysicist.
those things are like
Hopefully.
a sandwich of math that I'm
It's
not getting into.
physics and astronomy. So really one, the other, both. But yeah, I had homework all weekend. So
So in
while
between
we were
entertaining everyone, Lauren was being a fantastic student and getting her homework done. I would have never done it. I would have been like, Screw you, professor. This
You
is
guys were
difficult. I'm
good
not doing.
troopers with pretending like I was teaching you. It was nice.
Yeah, I the R in the fourth quadrant. It's positively charged, negatively, positively charged. I don't know,
In the
some
fourth quad
nonsense.
yeah, you got it. In the fourth quadrant. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's positive and negative, but not
it doesn't make
charged.
any sense. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. But if Lauren builds us a proton pack, then I'll pretend to understand even more.
I'll write you out a script that you can just read when it's time to tell somebody how it works.
Excellent, good. That's what I need.
Mhm. No worries. No worries at all.
It's the physics of the Astros, exactly. So we
Yeah.
are actually going to get into a really interesting topic in your video this evening, and I don't want you to talk too much about it, but it's about time slips. And I often have had very good conversations with Mr. Dave Schrader on the Paranormal 60 about time slips. Big shout out to Dave, and go listen to the Paranormal 60 if you've never heard it before with Dave. It's great. Um, how I mean, we don't know what the deal is with time slips, but
Or
mathematically, what do
do
you think?
we?
Or do we? Or mathematically, is there a way that this could be possible?
Yes, that's why it makes it so it's what makes it so interesting that there
So I
are
would never have asked another paranormal investigator. Mathematically speaking, do you think this is a possibility?
but
Because
you know
most of us
better.
just wear black clothes and we're dumb, and we're just like, yeah, of
Like what?
course. Why wouldn't it
Yeah.
be possible?
In this case, yeah, there are aspects about at least like loops in time that are mathematically possible, which is really really cool. And I do get into that. And this video is kind of like a prerequisite for the video after that, where I talk a little bit more about kind of like time slips and time hauntings again. So they
Oh,
do go together. This one is more of like the exploration of it, and then my next one, I am on location at a very cool historic place
ooh,
that I talk a little bit more. And that episode is just like it's getting into my trying to get them longer and longer and longer, so that one's a little bit longer.
good. I love it.
I'm excited for everybody to see like my progression into making like full length content and like full produced content. So
We're all
thank you
excited.
everyone for being here.
And be patient with her. She's a full-time astrophysicist student, okay? She's, like, doing literal, actual NASA homework, okay? So give her a break.
I was in astronomy class the other day and it was so nice. I stayed after to ask my professor some questions about one of the reviews that we had, and he said to me, he said, "You're thinking like an astronomy major." And I went,
Put your hair back.
"Thanks." And ran out the door. It was very exciting.
Nothing like a little positive reinforcement from the teacher.
It was really nice. It made me feel good. It's one of those things where because I'm older than all the students. So sometimes I feel like I'm like an imposter. So it's nice.
Oh,
Just a little
they
older.
just a
I
little
could
bit,
just
and they
be
don't
all
know
their
yet.
moms.
Oh, um, oh, interesting. Do we have an SLS camera? I have an SLS camera, but I hardly ever use it because it's very cumbersome.
Yeah, those are tough. SLS is it's a very interesting idea. But there's no set standard with how they're built. So you have a lot of different creators sort of building them in different ways. I have an Xbox camera that I was just like taking apart and experimenting with because I any new piece of tech I really like to get my hands on and rip it to shreds because you know.
Yeah,
Um, but there it's interesting if you are able to use it in a controlled environment. So like you set it up in a room, you put it on a tripod, and you don't touch it all night.
right.
You know, it's one of those. I almost make it sort of like akin to like a camera being set into a room. It's interesting, especially if it's an empty room. But it's made to pick up on human shaped objects no
Right.
matter what. So
So it
even
maps in weird stuff.
it really does. And
It's
when you
like when we
have
try to
too
reach for
many
things
false
when we hear things.
positives, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Too
yeah.
many false positives, sometimes the tool just isn't worth the technology. It's not I feel like it could get better because it's a very interesting concept.
So I had a really interesting experience. The first time I ever saw an SLS was in the basement of the Shanley, of course. And somebody was like, "Oh, there's a stick figure mapped in next to you." And I'm one to say like, well, timing and relevance. Let's see what happens. So I put my hand up and I said, "Can you give me 5?" And the stick figure reached up and seemingly tapped my hand. I didn't feel it, I didn't see it, but the camera saw it, which I thought was really interesting. So who knows? There could be something there. And like you said, if we can come up with a good standard to build them
Yeah.
and be like, this is exactly like you do with your equipment. This is exactly how it's built. This is the technology that's going into it. And we know exactly how it should work. And it shouldn't work any other way. But if it does, then we know something is going on, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like touch and go when you have people in the frame, just because again, when you have something that's programmed, we're not messing with the programming. We're kind of using the programming as is, and the
Right.
programming is very dependent on like tracking people and their movements. So, it's like I
Yeah.
said, it's a very very cool. I have somewhere here. I have one of the cameras that I took apart.
You're like a child. I need to know how
Yeah.
the this works. Yeah.
Oh, it's
So I have another
ridiculous. When people, like, break their equipment or something, sometimes they'll just send it to me so I can take it apart.
I've done that. My buddy is the electrical engineer, fixed a piece of equipment for us that was I wasn't gonna fix it, and it was really broken. Robert Heskey says, "Why do time slips usually occur only for a short time, like a few minutes?" Hmm,
Or well, see, there are stories where they are much, much longer. There is a very famous story of two women experiencing a time slip. I want to say it was it on a college campus? Off the top of my head, I can't think of but it's a fairly famous story where they were walking around this historic location and they started thinking that they were seeing people in costume, and they were really confused by it, and then they walked down a path. I don't think it was a college campus, it was some sort of historic place. Walked down a path, they saw a structure that hadn't been there before, somebody outside of it, and they were like, "Oh, is this like new?" And the person was like looking at them like,
like
"Who
they
are
were the
you?"
weirdos?
And they were
Yeah.
like, "Okay, well, we're just gonna go." And they like went back, and then they started seeing tourists back again. Yes, Versailles, thank you, Kay. Yes. And
Wow.
that was a very long scenario. Like, they interacted with people. So it's like it depends on, because also there are these ideas that a lot of things that when it comes to deja vu, is that a time slip? Are shadow people really, time slipping through time? You talked about Dave Schrader and Paranormal 60, and I know that you know Mike Ricksecker, and he
Yeah.
talks a lot about time slips. I have a few of his books when it comes to the time dimensions and things like that, and him and I have talked extensively about different dimensions and time slips. And so yeah, it's quite a topic. It's a very cool topic.
I love
I
it. I wish
Me
I could
too.
experience one. I don't know. Bring me back. Show me a dinosaur. Don't eat me. Just let me see what it was like, and then I'll come
Oh,
back
like
and
the
I'll be like,
chronovisor?
yeah. Which I saw a really weird article about today, but I didn't. I was gonna forward it to you, but I didn't because it was a little political, and I don't want to go down any roads like that. But basically, it was like another Simpsons prediction, and it was about recent events. And basically, they were like, "Does Matt Groening have, access
Oh
to the
yeah.
coronavisor in either the Vatican or the rumored one in Area 51?" And I was like, "Oh, there might be a second one." Hmm.
I mean, there were like whisperings that the reason why they couldn't find plans or anything is, and this is the same thing with oh, what's his name, who built the ghost phone, that somebody broke into the workshop and stole all the plans, top
Oh,
secret, and
sure.
confiscated them. You know what I mean? Which that's what I'm saying.
So
I'm not telling you any of the top secret stuff I'm building just in
I'm.
case.
When did the coronavisor? When was the idea of that like brought to mainstream? Like, how long ago do you think?
So the chronovisor was it in the 20s?
Okay, so very long time ago. So the reason I asked is
Yeah.
because, if any children here of the '80s, which is I am one,
Sorry,
there
not the
was
20s. Why do I keep saying the 20s? The
uh,
50s.
the '50s. Okay, so in the '80s, there was this movie that was called Masters of the Universe, and it was with Dolph Lundgren, and it was a He-Man movie, and it was real rad. But there's something that I've often said, is sort of like my psychic abilities. They use a piece of equipment in this movie where the bad guys wanna know what happened at this battle when they weren't there. So they pick up this, like, camera, and it has a screen on it, and on the screen, it looks into the past, and they can see the battle just on their little screen as it was happening, and they were like, "Okay, this is what happened." And when I tell people about when I look back in the past or when I'm looking at things, that's sort of how it appears to me. It's like an overlay of what's there, and it's not really there now. It's just sometimes I can see there. So that seems like somebody had either they were a sci-fi nut and that was just a cool idea they came up with, or maybe the person who worked on the movie or wrote the script had some knowledge of the coronavisor as well in Hollywood. Wouldn't that be interesting?
So like time ideas of being able to either go back in time or like see through time isn't it's not a fairly new interest, especially like in text. I'm sure there's older text than that, but you have like H.G. Wells in the like late 1800s that wrote about time travel and that wrote about this whole idea of us taking peeks into the past, or eventually also to into the future. And I think it's just one of those same ideas of our curiosity of one being able to change our lives in ways, or change the world in some sort of way. Like I wish I could go back, if only I knew what I knew now back
Yeah,
then, kind of idea. So I think I feel like time travel and time slips and these ideas of thinking about the past and the future are probably like, I mean, just as old as religion, probably. I mean, it's
yeah,
such
right.
a we live. And also too, there was a comment. Violet asked, isn't the fourth dimension time, and do we need to pass through it to get to the fifth dimension? And so the fourth dimension, yes, that is our timeline. But the interesting part about all the other dimensions, at least in like mathematics and physics, is that they're not actually like places. Like how our fourth dimensional timescape seems like it's a place, but it's not. It's just another like spatial dimension, just like
Yeah.
our length, our width, our depth. Those are all these spatial dimensions, and so it just expands out to there. So we're actually, if there's a fifth dimension, we're touching it right now.
I don't
but,
want to be touched by the fifth dimension. I have a
but we are
restraining order against it.
but we're touching it. You're touching it right now. Your nose is touching
Knock
it,
it
your
off.
hair is touching it, your shoulder, we're touching it. We just can't perceive it in our minds. So when that just made literature and sci-fi and all of that stuff just break loose when science started talking about dimensions.
Yeah.
And still, like, concrete science is still trying to look into that. So time travel and dimensional travel is so intriguing to not just like fiction but to nonfiction. So this is it's I mean, it's like human nature to wonder about this stuff, and it's
Yeah.
so cool. And you'll see so many of my episodes mention time and things like that, because even when it comes to paranormal phenomena, like, there are so many ideas that I have in terms of like interdimensional travel and time slips and stuff like that, that's where I think it is.
Yeah.
And science is looking into that now.
Really. I like that. Good
It's
job, science. Do something for
mind
me for
it's
once.
mind blowing. It's
Ever
mind
since
blowing.
ever since they made up microwaves to make my food hot fast, they haven't really done much for me as far as science goes.
Well, we did use microwaves to trigger when that freaking elevator opened and something came out of it.
Dude, that was so cool. Yeah, so that the elevator that's my dog. He's barking.
That's okay. Walter's behind me. He's not barking.
Hi, Walter. Yeah, so the elevator opening was really cool. So, talking about time slips, maybe there was somebody who came up from that elevator 30 years ago and came out and got a glimpse of us and was like, "This isn't my art class," and like went
Ah,
back inside and left.
it's like
Right? I mean,
everything
you
you
just
say triggers something. That is one of the stories that Mike told at a talk before I ever met him, that was like, "Oh my gosh." That was one of those like, "Oh my gosh" moments of like shadow people and time travel. he was like, when I was really little, I had my first interaction with a shadow person. I walked out into my kitchen and I saw this big shadow person and I ran out the room. This is the abridged version. When
Yeah,
I was much older, I went back to my childhood home and I was in the kitchen and I turned around and there was a small shadow figure. And before could really get a good look at it, it darted out of the room. And like when you think of it, gives me every time I could tell the abridged version of that story and I still get goosebumps.
that's awesome.
But, like, that's so fascinating to me, and,
Sure is.
oh, 4 minutes to darn it, Kate, we need to do longer. We need to do
We will start doing
longer.
longer ones.
I'll tell you, because
We'll
my
get there.
my episodes are gonna get or yes, okay, but,
Because always these preemptive things are always just to talk a little bit about this so people can have a live version and ask you some questions
I
about the
know.
topic, but then get your class about it is and in a fun way, which is really nice. I have to stop just because I have to tell everybody because Miss K, our producer, always producing, says and good job by the way, that is a plus because we need it. We're two feral squirrels, which you know. Um,
Yes.
Tomorrow, we are premiering here on the Signal Network. We have Brady Goebel chasing paranormal.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
yay.
we're gonna go live with him at 8:30 p.m. and then at 9 o'clock, we'll premiere Chasing Paranormal, one of our amazing creators here on Signal Network. And then Friday, we're back with Back Beyond the Badge. And then we have Mr. Robert Heskey, Afraid of Nothing podcast. So, everybody who's watching this, if you're watching this for the first time or the replay, we have all kinds of new things coming for you. And there's lots of lives that are happening. There's lots of say the word for me,
Documentaries.
documentaries. Thank
Documentaries.
yeah, thank you. Giorgio Tsoukalos ruined me for life. I can't say it right anymore. So anyways, we have a lot of really great stuff for you guys. This is a
Oh,
real
the Shanley
pleasure to be able.
Hotel's here.
Oh, hi Shanley.
Sorry.
It's a real pleasure. Oh, good. That's our friends over at the Shanley, who I'm going to help manage their YouTube channel here in a little bit.
We need to go there.
So yeah. So yes, and if you there was a I can't talk about it because you have to go because it's 9 o'clock. But there was a
Ah!
time slip at the Shanley Hotel from the owner's daughter, and I would love to hear about it one day. It was really cool sounding. All right,
We'll talk
everybody,
about it more
go and
later.
watch right now. You're gonna watch
I'm
Lauren
going to
Haunt
it.
right now. Signal Network. Let's go watch it. Premiere starts now. See you guys in the comments. Everybody, great chat. Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for everybody showing up and chilling with us. Make sure you go right now to the next show. Let's go. You ready? And we out.